A weird thing, because I just like, one day I was like working in a bike shop and like making these little collage things, and the next day I'm like asking to get, you know, shown in this gallery and in that gallery, and people want me to do work in their houses and in their stores, and it's pretty surreal actually. I took art classes in high school and I liked it, but it never really had, I don't know, I mean, it just something clicked and I just was like, oh, I can do this. I mean, before that I was like on my way to becoming a pro mountain biker, and now I'm a working artist. The first time I ever really painted anything on the street, I mean, the first time I really sort of got worked up about it was, I'd say 3 years ago. I was working as a bike courier in Vancouver at the time, and a friend of mine gave me a book called Stencil Graffiti, and I was flipping through it and I just got really stoked on what I saw in there. I just started cutting out these weird little men that were running, and I went around the corner from my place and painted one on this wall. And I don't know, it just was like, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. So it just kind of progressed from there and into a complete lifestyle change. I mean, one of the considerations that I think of in when I put up a piece is like, how many people are going to see this? Like, it's not like who's going to see it necessarily. Sometimes it is. I mean, the parts of town that I like to put a lot of this stuff in are the sort of the higher end sort of parts of town, you know, like in Vancouver, it's like Yaletown, Robson Street, Granville Street, like the shopping districts. Because a lot of times, like, that's going to be the most exposure. Most of the images that I paint or draw or stencil or anything like that have that as the primary sort of inspiration is trauma. There isn't a lot of photorealistic, sort of very, like what I would like to say, impactful, emotionally, sort of like stop you in your tracks kind of stuff, where it's just like, oh my God. And it triggers something in you that's deep, that, you know, like something that you see and like stays with you. And that's sort of what I try and do with like these posters and stuff. Like these two posters are gonna go up on the street, probably in LA. Well, I would like to think that it stops people in their tracks and makes them like think. Like just even for half a second, it's just like, oh, you know, because like with a lot of street stuff, there's so much, you know, graffiti that's just tag over tag over tag. And I mean, it looks really cool aesthetically, but I mean, as far as any emotional impact that it's going to have on someone, it's pretty limited unless you're a writer. Like my own father is actually like derelict on the streets. I mean, that's a large part of why I do a lot of these. It seems like there's a misrepresentation because of my personal, like, vested contact with someone who is like that, or, you know, like, is in that category. Whereas, you know, it's more like I ride down the street and I see these people and it's just like, these are people's daughters, these are people's parents, these are people's cousins, brothers, sisters, and like, it's just this really weird kind of misplaced thing where it's like you're riding through like a bunch of ghosts.